Hello and welcome to this video. This one is about mixing synths in a metal context, or let's say a metal hybrid context. And at first, let's have a listen to this little section of this song here. And as you can hear, there is a lot of stuff going on. We have fast double kicks, we have aggressive rhythm guitars, we have a lead guitar, we have a piano in the background, we have some electronic synth instruments, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And in this video, I don't want to talk about how I choose these sounds, which libraries I use. And by the way, you can see I rendered all the stuff out into WAV files. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the render in place function in Cubase, I made a whole video about this topic. You can find it somewhere here or in the video description. So in this video, I want to talk about more mixing the instruments. And at first, let's have a listen to this section alone, to all the synth instruments. And all these instruments are going into this group here, which is my synth group. And I don't want to talk about the group processing too much, because for this project, I have a little different approach. I'm not processing too much on the group track, but more on the single instruments. So here I just have an EQ with very broad but also minor adjustments, and here also an SSL channel with not that much going on. So let's not focus on the group track, but more on the single instruments. And let's talk about this one here at first. This is more like a pad sound. And the source sound, let's make this try. It sounds like this. And as you can hear, it sounds great, but it's really fat sounding, a lot of low end, a lot of low mids. And for me, with all the electronic instruments, the synth stuff, there is a lot of tonal information wide across the frequency range. And what I like to do, I absolutely love this SSL E-channel for this one, because you are not getting distracted with the graphic EQ curves too much, and just turn some knobs and listen and make decisions and listen. And what I like to do with the synth is to have really broad Q filters here in the high mids, in the low mids, and then I search for the stuff I really like. Because as I said, there is a lot of tonal information, and I just boost some things, and I'm really searching for the stuff which really stands out for me. And of course, the obviously low cut here, because there's a lot of low end which we don't need for this metal context, because we have the fast double kicks, we have the bass guitar, we have the rhythm guitar. And if I leave this low end in here on the sound, it definitely will clash with all the other instruments, with all the low end of the other instruments. So at first, let's have an A-B comparison. So I switch the SSL channel on and off so you can hear the difference. And of course, you can hear without the SSL channel, there's a lot of low end, a lot of low mids, but with the channel there's a lot of aggressive high end and also aggressive high mids. And this is the thing, I'm really searching for the sounds I like, which stand out for me. And of course I did a really drastic low cut. And so let's do this from scratch. Let's reset this channel like now and deactivate all the stuff. And now we are doing this together from scratch. So the first thing for me is the low end. And again, this is not really about the numbers, because I know we all have this in our head. Yeah, a low cut, let's say 80 Hertz, 100 Hertz, 120 or something. And with this SSL channel or any analog style EQ, just really don't pay too much attention about the numbers. Just make decisions, turn some knobs and listen to the sound. So I'm really drastic here with the low cut. And the next thing, as I said before, I really like this very broad Q filters here for boosting some stuff with electronic instruments. And now I'm searching for frequencies and sounds I really like about this sound. And for the low mids here, below 1K, it gets a little bit muddy and boomy, because here, or also here, are all the boxy low mids, which we don't really need for this metal mix. But I really like the high mid frequencies, and also, let's say above 1K, 1.5K. At 2K it gets a little bit, let's say, gnarly, a little bit not harsh, but it's getting a little bit too aggressive. And yeah, so of course in the AB comparison it's really drastic. All the low end is gone, the low mids are almost completely gone, but this is totally on purpose. I really like this aggressive, what is it, 1.7K frequency, and here it's around 2.3K. And this is for me with this sound where the sound really sticks out for this whole mix. And by the way, I just adjust the volume difference with this output fader here. And I don't go too crazy with this. I don't want specific numbers here. Just have a listen, do an AB comparison, and then just adjust the fader a little bit so you have almost the same kind of level. And of course, if you do this too much in solo, your ears get used to these aggressive high mid frequencies. So it's always wise to bring the whole mix back. this is one example, and I want to leave this sound like this now, because it's not much the lead sound of the synth instruments. So let's move on to this one here. It sounds like this. And let's jump to this section here. And as you can hear, this one is much more aggressive, and it's a lot of high end and high mids. And let's deactivate the send reverb here and all this stuff. And as you can hear, this is the source sound, and again, it sounds really powerful for itself, but too much low end, too much low mids, and it's not aggressive enough for me. And as I said before, there is a lot of tonal information in the sound, so let's bring up this analyzer. So you can see there are a lot of harmonics, a lot of tonal information, and the goal for me is to bring that out, to bring these frequencies out which I like the most of the sound. And here the first thing is an EQ. I did a low shelf and a low cut here, just very drastically with the synth sounds. But I'm talking about the synth sounds when all the other instruments are playing, the guitars, the kick drum, all the other stuff. If the synth sounds are playing alone on a certain part on a song, then it's a different story. Then you can leave some of the low end and the low mids in. But I want to focus more about the whole mix context. And the next thing is, this is more about sound design. This is Fury from Heaviosity, an saturation, overdrive, distortion plugin with a lot of options to shape the sound. So if you search for more aggressiveness for a synth sound, then try distortion, or let's say overdrive and maybe distortion. It really can help to shape the aggressive sound of the synth. And the next thing is again the SSL E channel, and here the same thing as before. I used the broad Q filter here, and then I just searched for the frequencies I really like and bring them up. And for the send, I have my long verb send here. And here the same thing. Let's reset this E channel and do this totally from scratch. At first, let's have a listen to the whole mix for a little bit of a reset for the ears. And now let's focus on the sound itself. And as I said before, with this SSL channel, I really try to make quick decisions. Just turn the knobs and bring out the sound I really like. As I said before, it's a little different approach. Let's say with guitars. I also do this with guitars, but not always, but almost always with electronic or synth instruments. So let's try to do this really quick here. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for me. Again, just try this out, really quick decisions. And let's solo the sound again and have an A-B comparison. And you can clearly hear with the SSL channel, it's much more aggressive in the high mids, in the high ends. The boxy low mids are totally gone. And of course, we don't need the low end of this synth because we have the double kicks going on here. And I'm not talking about compression and fine adjustments here. This is just for shaping the sound and bring out the best of the sound for the whole mix context. And I really like how this turned out. I'm not really sure if this is exactly the thing I did before, but I really like this. And of course, it can happen when you boost these high mids and also these mids here with very broad Q filters here, which I did here. Then of course it can happen that you have some certain frequencies which are sticking out too much, and then I would add an Pro Q from FabFilter to just search for these little spots. But with these synth sounds, to be honest, I start with the SSL channel and bring out all the sounds I like, and of course remove some of the low end. And when I go really aggressive with the high mids and the higher end, I also do a little high cut here, so it doesn't go too harsh. So here it's around 10k, but again, don't pay too much attention about the numbers. It's more about quick decisions. So let's move on to another sound. Let's try this section here. Or let's choose the piano here. So let's deactivate the plugins. And as you can hear, of course, it's a piano sound, but it's more like a trailer style, really dark. It's not super aggressive. Of course, I can choose a more standard piano, but I choose this one because I like the sound, the character. And the first thing I did is to remove some of the boxy low mids here. And the next thing again is the SSL channel, and here the same thing, very broad Q filters, and just boost the sound and find the stuff you really like. And of course with this one, especially this one, you bring up a lot of the weird noises which are going on in the background, but it doesn't bother me too much because you don't really hear this with the full mix. So here's the A/B comparison. And here again, the sound alone without the channel. Of course it sounds more warm, it sounds fuller with more low end, more low mids, but with the channel engaged for the whole mix, it sounds more aggressive. Okay, And let's talk about another example here. It's almost the same kind of thing, but these are, it's called signal sounds, and they sound like this in solo. As you can hear, these sound also aggressive, but here there are a lot more low mids and low end going on. And again, we are doing this totally from scratch. So let's deactivate the black hole Zend and also these two things here. And this is the completely dry sound. And the first thing here, what I did is a really drastic low cut, of course, again, with a 6 dB per octave slope, and it's really broad. And the next thing, again, is the SSL E channel, and without the E channel. So here you can hear there is still a lot of the low end is gone because of the low cut with the fab filter EQ, but it's still, let's say it's still aggressive also in the low mids. And here with the channel. And here is a thing, I didn't go too drastic here with the low cut, because these signal sounds are just for the impact on the one. So let's bring back the whole mix. So these are just for the impact, so I left a little bit of the low end. And here the same thing with the other synth instruments. I went for really broad Q filters here and just searching for the frequencies and sounds I like and bring them up. And again, let's do this from scratch. We set the E channel and let's try to do this really quick. And that's pretty much it. Again, I'm not really sure if this is the same thing I did before, but it's almost the same area of frequencies. So here for this sound, I really like the 2.5K, and here more aggressive in the high mids, it's around 6K, 5.6. And again, I don't pay too much attention about the numbers when I turn the knobs. Just turn the knobs and listen. I say this again and again, as I'm sorry. But then afterwards, if you really like what you have done, then you can go in. Okay, what have I done here? I did here at 5.6, here at around 2.5. It's really useful, but don't pay too much attention about the specific numbers when you do this. again, let's have an A-B comparison in solo. There are still a lot of low mid rumble going on. In this part it's okay, but then when the double kicks are coming in, maybe it's a little bit too much, but that's fine tuning for later. This is more about shaping the best of the sound, let's say. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you found this helpful. If so, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below if you want to see more of this. And thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye.